How about some fruit? Would you like some fruit? Cut up fruit, like pineapple maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. We used to get a lot more of certain items in the dairy and eggs and things like that, and that has definitely slowed down from the donation standpoint. And then people always asking for the milk and eggs, and extra meat, which you need the referral from the county. So we have lots and lots of bread and things like that, but not as much of the core things.
Food banks like Food for Others in Virginia are feeling the pinch from inflation.
So usually in the morning we open our door at 9:30 and there's already a line of individuals waiting to pick up food. We have roughly 150, 175 families come a day. And since inflation's really kicked in, we've seen about 200 to 300 new clients each month.
Yes, please. Love it. Yeah, yes, please. Can't go wrong with yogurt. It has become a big necessity because you can offset some of your income by being able to not have to purchase eggs and milk and cheese and lots of things. I have children.
Samantha Jacobs has worked as a school health aide in Fairfax County, Virginia for the past 16 years and relies on the food bank to help feed her growing family.
I've got a 10-year-old and 12-year-old who eat a lot. So yes, I have realized that, the number of things that they eat have doubled, especially being home more often since the pandemic.
Although inflation has started to ease with gas prices going down, rent and food prices still went up. Over the last year, prices for groceries have risen 13.1%.
The July numbers showed that inflation declined relative to June. That's a great thing. But if you look deeper within that number, you'll see that inflation is still very high for energy and food.
A lot of our clients live on the edge of needing food assistance, so when unexpected expenses, an increase in gas prices, the increase in food prices hit, it really rocks the boat, but that's why we're here to provide that safety net to our neighbors.
Slayton says they are also seeing a 42% decrease in donations, not just because of the typical summer slump, but also due to inflation.
We need to think not of the money wage, how much someone takes home in dollars, but rather what those dollars can actually purchase in the market. And the net impact of inflation is that a dollar is worth less in terms of the goods that someone can buy.
The thoughts in my head, make it difficult to come here, but I come because that's what it's for. And we work every day. People just don't make enough.
Man, Shalom Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel, brother, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Reverend and B. Man, this is just a quick lesson through the Spirit, Lord's will to be edifying. It says food banks are struggling this holiday season as inflation creates perfect storm. Okay, the food shortages, the supply chain holdups, the choke-ups, gas prices, the diesel shortages, all the signs are pointing to economic collapse. And I know this is something that we go into quite often, but you know what, man? Hey, the scriptures say sound the alarm and blow the trumpet and warn Israel. Okay, because this holiday season, Thanksgiving, which is a holiday that was circumvented around the slaughtering and taking the land of the Native American Indians, the Taino Indians, the Mexican Indians, all right, which are the biblical Israelites, predominantly of the Northern Kingdom. This holiday, people are seeing a lot of struggling as far as to keep the bills afloat, man, because they say we're all one paycheck from being homeless. We're one paycheck away from pretty much being on the street. And the lady made an excellent point. She stated, well, the wages aren't going up as much, but the food inflation went up to 13%. And if you notice, we just had this last midterm election that it was pretty much like a stalemate almost. But I believe that the Republicans took the House eventually. I didn't look too much into it. It's really politics. It's not really my thing. Because they're control, they're pretty much control opposition. But regardless of that, everybody went down to the polls to vote to change what's happening in the country. But you can't reverse something that's already started. They call it the snowball effect. When you have something that's rolling downhill, and it's that big, you're not going to throw the boulder back uphill. It's impossible. It started already. And the people that you indeed elected into office or selected, these people weren't here for your best interest, because, hey, they ain't got to worry about inflation. They don't have to worry about food insecurities, or losing out on energy costs, etc., because, they're part of the ones that's causing the problem. Okay, but this is for the common folk, I like to say, the lower level people, people on our levels, because with the diesel shortages commencing, and they're pretty hush about it at work, but eventually something is going to pop, you see. So people are losing it, and I believe that this food crisis, which is going to bring in a famine, is going to be one of the events that's going to make people accept the mark of the beast, because we always stated that doing some type of economic woe and controlling the people, you control the appetite, you control the people, especially the American people. They are totally infringed on their food rights, so to speak. So this is what they live for, bread and circus. And if you dangle a carrot or a hamburger over their head, they'll do anything to get it. So it says food banks across the country will enter this holiday season with their resources strained as inflation continues to pummel the economy, man. And I noticed this holiday season, it ain't been that much mirth. Like I've seen a few Christmas decorations here and there, a few Thanksgiving decorations here and there, but for the most part, I believe it's quiet, and the ceremonies or the particular family outings that people are gearing up to get, those are, that's people holding on to what's left of this place, like the mirth, but they're not happy. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's sad. Like when I go to work, everybody's all quiet. Everybody's stressed out. They don't know what's coming next, but hey, we the ones that have hope because we see what's coming through the spirit. So while these people are losing their minds and they're losing their mental livelihoods, we're rejoicing in the spirit, because this is the time that we're going to shine, because while everybody is out here scrambling and running around like their heads cut off like chickens, etc., then we're going to be the ones with the answers as to what's happening, and we're going to know the way. Okay, if the spirit guides us. Okay, that's why the scriptures say wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy time. But it says soaring food prices and a drop in donations mean many food banks, warehouses, and thinly stocked in recent years, said Katie Fitzgerald, Chief Opening Officer at Feeding America nonprofit overseeing a network of more than 200 food banks across the country. Now, the reason why the donations are dropping is because people don't have it no more. Like back in the day, people have an abundance. I remember when my apartment building caught on fire back in 2016. And, our apartment complex at the time, they referred us to like a church, and Blue Cross, Red Cross, they didn't do shit. But it was the people that came together to help us out. It was to the point I had all types of cleaning supplies. I had cleaning supplies that last me damn near a year. That's how much stuff I was able to get. But now it's not the same, because the inflation, people losing their jobs, their pensions are being shrunk, and people, they're losing hope. Okay, but this is prophecy, because the scriptures tell you in 2nd Esdras, it says, because of their pride, the city should be troubled. Okay, because you people, you're too entitled. So the Most High is getting ready to make you go without and fend for yourselves, man. Okay, since you're so entitled, you all about YOLO, live your life as you want, live your best life. You only live once, this is because of me and my power. Nah, man, the Most High is getting ready to show you people. Okay, so it says, meanwhile, some food banks report they are busier than what they were of the worst part of the economic shutdown during the pandemic in 2020. Earlier this year, over 150 of Feeding America's 200 food banks reported seeing an increased steady demand for services as food prices increased. It says, with the demand, people being so great, the supply being short, the inflation being high, it's just a perfect storm for long lines in the bank, she said. But in Alamo City, there aren't enough turkeys for all who would like one for their Thanksgiving meal this year. Which this Thanksgiving shit is a joke, man. You a Jake, you a Negro, Latino, Native American. You shouldn't even be celebrating that madness. And honestly speaking, I'm not even going to waste my time going into the history of Thanksgiving. We've done lessons on it every single year about what you're not supposed to do. So, at this point, no warning is going out. Okay? Brothers done lessons on it, but it's to the point now, it's like, you don't know, then hey, that's on you. But it says here, food prices are up Food banks get their food through multiple ways, including buying it themselves, so rising food prices are a problem. But it says the story of 2022 is inflation and the inflationary food prices, she said, adding the price of turkey was up 17% in December. Wow. But the U.S. Department of Agriculture, one of the biggest bankrollers of the food bank supplies, is having a harder time purchasing food for charitable purposes because it is too dealing with inflation in the market, according to Fitzgerald. AKA, they're pretty much broke. Okay, so man, this pandemic, this is exactly what it did. It did exactly what it needed to do away with these small businesses, to inflate the economy, and they can use that as an example as a failing dollar. Okay, because honestly speaking, we can go back to 2016, 2017 during the retail apocalypse, and we saw this storm coming 5-6 years ago. Okay, just you people, you didn't pay attention to it. When Sears closed down for good, that's how you know it was a wrap. Because Sears was one of the main prominent businesses outside of GM, Ford, okay, what's some other primary notable businesses, steel companies, you know, BP, Shells, those particular powerhouses that kept America going for this time. Hey, freaking Sears was a backbone of America, and when they lost that, it was pretty much a wrap, man. Because I believe Sears has been around over 100 plus years, you know, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, hey, there's no Sears stores anymore. At least not to my knowledge. Payless is gone. They shut down the Kmart's. You know, the shopping malls in America, 75% of them, they're getting ready to close. You know, because there's not a lot of traffic there. You know, you go to the mall, you see a lot of vacancies. You see a lot of stores that don't attract any type of traffic or anything like that. You know, and this was all systematically done by Esau Edom, which is going to bring in a famine, man. Okay. So, anyway, let's go here. Ezekiel 28, I think it's the 28th chapter. Yep, this is the book of Ezekiel 28, and I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and thou hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Right. He understood the commerce. He understood of building railroads, okay, international travel, domestic travel, and technically the highway systems were really set up to transport commercial goods and military vehicles. Okay, natural domestic vehicles were never designed to drive on a highway, but Esau looked at it like, wait a minute, you know, if I can make more money off people traveling to and fro and setting up toll booths, I can quadruple the profits. And that's what he did, because interstates and so forth, that's made for commercial estate driving and military vehicles. It wasn't designed for domestic vehicles. But now, hey, you see everybody going to work every morning. You know, people are literally crashing, having accidents, trying to rush to work just to make a failing dollar. It's a rat race, man. You know, and it says, because thy traffic thou hast increased thy riches. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches, man. Okay, and that's the point. You know, Esau has riches, but now Most High is taking away that substance that he once had. Okay, which is gonna bring in famine, pestilence, civil war. Because one thing that's gonna follow a food shortage and an economic depression is a civil war. Okay, and we've been reading articles about civil war being imminent here in the United States. You know, people are gearing up to go ahead up with the government because, you know, they feel that they've been played. Like when you go out there to Zhengzhou, China, one of the biggest Apple factories out there, which hosts 200-something thousand employees, they're in frenzy right now because basically they're on lockdown restrictions and they can't do anything but work, and they're underpaid. So what do you think that's going to spill over to? That's going to spill over here. Okay, because now they have an alt against the American people because they feel like the American people are just living lavish with haven't earned anything. And they absolutely right about that. You know, you minions over here, you got it good compared to the rest of the people in the world. And they're going to come and they're going to have an alt with you, man. Okay, because that's how the Most High set it up. But this is the book of 2nd Esdras 15. And I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, behold, the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, the famine, death, and destruction. Okay, now when we go into this article again, it says donations have dropped. It says Copper and Yeats said to their food banks saw an influx of cash in food donations during the first year of the pandemic, but donations have since dropped. Okay, right, because people, they don't have it to give anymore. Okay, you know, you Edomites, man, you once had it. You're losing out. And Jake never had it like that. So you damn sure know Jake is in the child lines. Like when I was at work yesterday, I was driving down the street. I seen a place with Jake out there. You had some Edomites, you had some different ethnicities out there, but it looked like they was lining up for donations. But food banks are running short, and a lot of the food that they get is probably outdated. It's old. It's probably not healthy for you anymore, man. They probably give you a turkey that's been sitting in a deep freezer for about a year and say, go home and cook it, just so you people could continue to live a lie. It's ridiculous, man. And you never put your faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, But anyway, it says, the West Seattle Food Bank is dipping into reserves for the second year in a row, relying on the monetary donations scrolled away from 2 years ago. But of course, it can't last forever. But the year ending in June saw a 7% decrease in donated food compared to a year prior, according to the data from Feeding America. It says, with less food donated by the public, food banks will have to continue to buy food from themselves to battle inflation, meaning they're going to spend it to their own money. But Feeding America network food banks purchased 18% more pounds of food from July through September 2022 compared to the same time in 2021, according to Fitzgerald's. But food banks and pantries across the country have also historically gotten donations from manufacturers with surplus supplies on their hands. But San Antonio food banks could usually rely on truckloads of cereal and other shelf-stable items from big-name factories hundreds of miles away. But changes in the labor market with overall economy cause food makers to operate with less staff in recent years as they've scaled back their operations to make them more efficient, according to the Copper, man. So basically, they're not working around the clock anymore, man. If you notice when you go to the store, like, there's this notable restaurant in Kansas City. I believe it come out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken. I think Raising Cane's come out of Texas. It's lucky if I'm off, but basically, I remember when they first opened up here, I'm gonna say back in like 2016, matter of fact, let's say 2017. I mean, they used to give you an abundance amount of food. The chicken strips were pretty, large. They had a nice amount. Now you go there, you're paying $9 for what they call a Caniac combo. You're probably paying like $13 for that, and the strips are twice as small now. So you're paying more for less. Inflation, which is going to increase the hyperinflation, like the elder Apostle Tahar always go into. A steak dinner can be $45, and then by the time you're done eating, your tab will come out to $200-$300, man. Same thing with these cell phone providers. They think they slick. Like on my phone provider, I set up a payment arrangement. It was $55, but it was going to take out 2 increments of $55. But when I checked it today, it went up to $56. You see, I'm like, how the hell did this happen? I'm like, I'm not even late like that. And on top of that, I'm like, either they're not taking it out on time or they charge you late fees, but they'll charge you those hidden prorated fees and those bills, and that's the reason why you never pay it off. You see what I'm saying? And then they sucker you into getting another phone so they can get the money out your ass, man. This is crazy. All right, but anyway, going back to the precepts here, let's go down to verses 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another with swords in their hand. Why is that? Because inflation, because people want answers. This whole election, these people really thought that change was going to come, but change haven't came. In fact, they ain't do a damn thing for you people, but continue to lie to you and deceive you and tell you all things are going to get better. Like you got this guy Hunter Biden and his father Jim Crow, Creepy Joe. Hey, they're under investigation now, allegedly, which is all smoke and mirrors. Okay, we understand that Esau needs to shed the narrative on other endeavors, so therefore this whole thing doesn't spill over. So they're giving you the illusion that this man is under investigation, but yet, ain't, please, how many little boys have he molested in his 70-something years, however old the devil is, his 80-something years of living? How many little girls and boys have he molested? Now you want to put this fucking dude under investigation when he probably have a year left to live, if that? Most High may smoke his ass by the end of the year. Don't be surprised if he end up dead soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that through the spirit. But regardless of that, it says, for there should be sedition among men, invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, so that's the point. People are going to start rioting. They're going to start looting. They're going to start killing one another for the one of all things, for the one of this food, man. You know, because like I said, the American appetite, that's what drives them. Beer on Sundays, football on Sundays, hot dogs on Saturdays, man. Drinking on Fridays. It's what they do. Mirth, 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 okay? But hey, we're going to get another precept here real quick. Isaiah the 24th chapter, because this is what's coming to Babylon. And you've seen increments of it already, okay? But this is the book of Isaiah 24, and I'm going to start at verses 8. It says, the mirth of the tabrets ceaseth, and the noise of them that rejoiceth ended, okay? That's going into your clubs, your lounges, your endeavors, man. You know, like every time you go to a spot, you always see Jake in there doing the most, being extra. These niggas party like it ain't no tomorrow, man. Okay, and they showed you that on the first Purge movie. Basically what Jake was doing during the time of an annual purge, when all hell was getting ready to break loose, these people are at a damn purge party, man. You know, Jake like, oh, I'm gonna set up a business. Nigga, you might not even have an apartment to go to next year. You know, you might not even have a refrigerator to eat out of. You might not even have a car or a vehicle to drive, man. You know, and Jake talking about all these plans for the future. You know, like this stupid baby mother of mine, man. You know, our daughter graduate. Look, man, I don't see my daughter graduating out of this place. I don't see it. Okay, it's in the back of my mind. That shit going one year after next. Okay, talking about graduate and go to college. You know how much college tuition will be in the next 10 years? You talking about graduation? Please. I mean, you'd be better off homeschooling them, man. But, you know, that's just the stupidness of our people. You know, they always think they have time left. They don't have no time left. The Most High is acting now. Okay, now is the time to prepare. You know, and it says, and they should not drink wine with the song, and strong drink should be bitter to them that drink it. That's right, man. Because, you know, most times you go out, you have a good time, you drink, you dance, you turn up, whatever. The turn up day, now you're going to be drinking to stay sane because you're going to see mass chaos around you, man. You know? See, and one thing they don't show you in these movies, you never see children getting jacked up, but this is going to be a whole different movie. Okay, this is that uncut. You know how when you go to the movies, they have the theatrical version and then you have the uncut extended version? This is what this is. Most High is going to show the whole thing. We're going to go behind the scenes and we're going to see the camera itself, man. And we're going to see, like, oh, shit. Most High is going to be a lot of dead children, man. And that's one thing people can't fathom. Children, that's a very sensitive topic in this place when you deal with children, man, because that's a softball and that's a soft spot for the people in America because, you know, we care about our children. According to these people, children are the innocents of the society. They make the world go around. Well, the Most High thing's different. Okay, so, hey, children, there's going to be a lot of, it tells you that in Ezekiel 9:4, all right? But it says, they should not drink wine with a song, and strong drink should be bitter to them that drink it. And the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in, right? Lockdowns, shutdowns. You see what they're doing out there in China again. You know, they bringing back the quarantine measures, etc. You know, like those Moabites in Zhangzhou in the eye factory, they was basically in a FEMA camp working. Okay, I mean, honestly speaking, they couldn't reach family. They couldn't talk to anybody. They had to stay there and work and make iPhones 24/7 for probably 10 cents a day. You know, and they got tired of it. Like, you know what, man, we finna go to war. Which y'all should have been doing that. Fuck, you gonna let somebody enslave you and tell you you got to stay behind doors for some shit they concocted, like, for your safety. Yeah, right. You people are out your damn minds, man. You think that these people have your best interest. But it says the city is left in desolation. No, my bad. There's a crying for wine in the streets, and all the joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone. That's why you ain't seeing people jolly holidays, man. You know, like back in the 90s, man, you know, you have the Home Alone Christmas, the freaking 3 foot of snow outside. You got the cloudy skies, the sunny skies. You got the Christmas tree, the colorful lights, the presents. You know, everybody's watching that movie, A Christmas Carol, eating cheese, pizza, cookies, and milk. You know, knowing you're going to get the new Xbox and shit like that. Them days are gone, man. You know, and I'm just reflecting on as a kid because I remember as a kid, man, you know, we always had almost like the perfect Christmas. Don't know how the hell it happened, you know, broke his 2 left nickels and the fact we still manage with things under our tree. You know, just the entitlement. You know, my father had money, but my mother didn't have money, you know, and the thing of it is it's just like, how the hell did you even manage? You go in debt to try to serve some rebellious ass kids, man. It's just not even worth it. You know, it's just stupid. But, you know, remember, because we grew up in the custom. We grew up in that custom. You know, Christmas Day, you know, you got it full of snow. You got your presents. You know, you go over your homeboy's house. You know what I'm saying? You go out, you playing in the snow. All that shit is dead, man. You forget about it. And the fact that we having these food insecurities is just going to make matters a lot worse. All right. Revelation 6, last precept. Revelation 6, and I'm going to start at 5. It says, and when he had opened the third seal and heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, lo, a black horse. And he that sat on them had a pair of balances in his hand. Okay. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See that thou hurt not the oil and the wine, which is this truth. Okay. But hey, a measure of wheat for a penny, your inflation. Okay. Inflation. Soon to be hyperinflation. Before you know it, rents are going to skyrocket. A 1-bedroom apartment may cost you $2 a month, depending on what province you in. Car notes, shit. You think you're paying $400-500 a month, including insurance? Hey, try $1,000 a month. Hey, food, carton of eggs. Hey, a carton of eggs on average is about $2.05. Okay, $3. So the best thing to do, man, you know, you find them deals. You know, hey, get them deals in and keep it pushing. But in the meantime, them deals are getting ready to run out because the supply shortage, the supply chain, they're clogged, man, and they're not moving anytime soon. So, hey, brothers, we in them times. Stay head on the swivel. Let's keep the Lord first, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Ball.